Good afternoon, everybody. MG here, MGCovers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video is, Did I Just Create My Best Stat Model Ever? Super excited to show you this video. It's going to be educational. You can see me adjust a stat model on the fly, live test it. I'm going to show you the results here at the end. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Ton of content related to sports handicapping, sports wagering, a ton of playlists. If you want to learn how to handicap in Major League Baseball, we've got only a couple months away, and we'll be talking about football season, both college and professional football. A ton of videos related to handicapping that. If you want to follow me on social media, MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. Give out a ton of content on my storyline for Instagram, so if you follow me there, you get a lot of value simply by following me on the Instagram. All right, so let's dive into this video. What we're going to talk about is soccer. Now, if you follow me or been a subscriber to the channel, I've been handicapping soccer, 2.5 years. Hell, it might even be 3 years now. Was absolutely intrigued by soccer from the very beginning and have went through several modifications of the model. The last model I came up with was over a year ago. It's a very good way to handicap. However, I was looking at the log for April, and noticed some things that I'm going to share in this video. So what you're looking at is the April betting log for soccer. And if you look down here to the left, I'll show you this we're going to review all this so you'll see it. So we had a total of 17 plays. We won 8, lost 8, had 1 push. So 50% win percentage. With a net unit of minus 0.17, so basically even there. And this is the key takeaway from this video. I'll go ahead and say it here at the beginning. What you always want to do, and the reason why you want to keep a log, is that you're going to be able to always look at the games or matches that you lost. Is there a reason why you lost those games? So you can go back and sort of self-critique, and sometimes you can come up with something like this that will completely transform the model. Now, so what I did was we had lost a lot of matches to draws, and that was probably the majority of the 8 there. So what you see here is the draw line, the home team, which if you watch one of my videos, home team wins more than the draw line, more than the away line. So in these particular matches, we played, the home team. This shows our pick, if the draw line won, and if we lost or won. So anyway, so what I did was I said, well, what would happen? It was just a thought. If instead of handicapping it the traditional way that I currently do, what if we played every single match on the draw line? So if you look over here, this is actually what happened. So out of those 17 plays, we hit 6 draws. And so we had a win percentage of 35% and ended up profiting 4.84 if we would have played every single match on the draw line. Now that seems crazy that just randomly playing draws would have that much success. But one thing to remember, already we know about soccer, is we have 3 lines, right? We have the home team, the draw line, and the away side, which makes soccer very unique. So what I did was I was like, okay, so I went back and looked at, if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 draw lines, okay? All right, before we do that, let me show you this real quick. So why is this profitable with only 6 draw wins, okay? So, and we only hit 35% winners. And you guys have seen me show this chart before. If you go look at 35%, that was the win percentage. All right, this is real important. 35% win percentage, and you can see there the money line is plus 185. So that means if you hit 35% winners, the money line has to be at least plus 185. All right. So if you go back over here to all the money lines, so what I did was I added this up. You can't see it on this side here. I'll tell you what, I'll just change it so that you can. And you look down here, the average money line was 259 on those draws. So if you go back to that chart, 259, so what we wagered was would fall right at 27%. So even if we would only hit 27%, it would have broken even. But instead, we ended up hitting 35% with an average money line of 259. So therefore, it was profitable simply playing draws and all those. All right. And just to show you this about expected value, you've heard a lot of talk about that. So let's say hypothetically that all the lines we played were plus 185. So according to this chart over here, just so you can see this all come together, at plus 185 at 35%, we would basically break even. So that means, so let's say that every single one of these draw lines were plus 185. So we take 6 times 185 equals 1100, right? Or 1110. And we had, that was the wins at 185. And then we would have 11 losses. That would be 1100. Whoops, I'm sorry. Yep, 1110. So there it is. So it's even. But again, we averaged a money line of 259. So that's why it's profitable at only hitting 35%. And that really intrigued me, because if you think about it, would it be easier to hit 35% on the draw line, or would it be easier to hit? You can see we were even at 50%, so we would need to be somewhere around probably 53 to 54% to turn a profit this way, and we have. But in my opinion, I was really intrigued by only hitting 35% draws and being able to be profitable that way. So here's the key takeaway, going back to this point. You know, whether it's wins or losses, always look at and dissect those. What I mean by that is, what I did was every single one of these draws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I looked at all of those matches. What do they have in common from a statistical standpoint? What do they have in common as far as, was it something related to the line movement? Was it something related to the line? So I tried to find a link between all of those draws that won. And I actually think that I found it. There were a couple things in there. So then what I did was I built a model. And then if you watched a previous video on ghost wagers, which is basically what I did. So I said, so this was nearing the end of April, maybe even not even quite the end. I said, well, I'm going to run a test basically doing ghost wagers. And if you don't know what a ghost wager is, we're going to wager live, not wager in real money, but track the results in real time. So if you come over here, this is this second sheet over here, is exactly what we did starting on 4/29, and immediately had a lot of success right out here at the gate, you can see. And we'll scroll down all the way here to the bottom, because this is absolutely amazing. Had a tough stretch right here. And I'll show you the good news first. This netted in less than 1 month, and this will be wagering full units on every single draw, 20.36 net units, which is phenomenal. And I'll show you the similar to the other one we did. So if we add this up, so the average draw line, well, let's do this first. So we had a total of, I got this written down, 63 matches wagered on. Whoops. And we hit 22 draws. So 22 divided by 63. Whoops. Sorry about that. Divided by 63. Okay, same deal as before. It hit 35%, right on the number. And let's see what we averaged as far as money line goes. Add all these up. Let me pull this screen over for us so you can see the bottom. If you look down at the bottom, so again, averaged a little bit better. 206, a plus 269 money line, a total of 63 matches. Again, hit 22 of those draws for a 35% win percentage. So now check this out. So if you look at previously, I think we averaged what? The average money line was 259. Here it was 269. So let's go back over here. This takes our break even point down even further, or basically the same. Maybe it was the same. Yeah, I think it was the same. So right around that 26 to 27% line. So even with a bad month, and I'm going to show you a really tough stretch in that whole log there. So we could still hit 26 to 27% draws and basically break even. But of course we hit 35%, averaging 259 on the money line. And that was extremely profitable handicapping that way. Now, I want to show you a stretch in here, and this is important to a teaching point with models. Let's say if you would you can't just test a small sample right here. You couldn't have just said what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And said, oh, we went 4 out of 9. We can hit 50% draws. That's not true. So this was a 63 game sample. And I've said this a couple times. If you want to know a good number, a sample to really legitimize a model, 50 games is probably the best way. I will say after about 20 to 25 games or matches, whatever model you're testing, you will have a general idea. And sometimes after that 20, 25, if it's hitting a really low percentage, you can kind of look at the losses and make adjustments. But after about 50 matches, 50 games, if it's profitable, you can pretty much assume that that's a really good model. And I do want to show you this right here. So you look at this stretch here from 5.9, it went on a really tough stretch. And this is important when you understand numbers. So statistically speaking, if there's 3 lines, the overall chance of hitting a draw is 33%, right? So when the model is, quote, struggling, it's going to be obviously a lot less than that, probably closer to, you know, with maybe like a 20% variance from that. And you can see here it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it hit 1 out of 13. So we'll pull that up on a calculator so you can see that, because I think this is a good teaching point. So it hit 1 divided by 13. So it hit 8%, right? So that was really low. And so if it was hitting 8% and it was averaging 35%, that obviously had to pick up. And you can see what happened during this stretch here after that. It went on just about a 50% run and then just finished up. Yeah, that was yesterday. So had a really good run there. So this is a very successful model. I'm super, super excited about this. One of the important things to note about this model and the way I've created this was very similar to the NH model in that it's a plug and play model, which means there's no handicapping other than the model itself. And again, super profitable. And I have a coaching video. If you're a coaching client, you're watching this, I'm actually going to take that coaching video down. Reason being, it's just too valuable to leave it up, considering, you know, it's only, the membership is only $50 a month for the coaching membership. So I'm going to take that video down. So if you're a client watching this, or if you want access to that model, I'm going to take it down at midnight tonight. Just I believe probably one of the best models that I've created, simply because of the profit potential. When you look at a model that was going to yield, you know, 20 units in a month. So super, super excited about this model. I'm going to start wagering probably on the next day that we have a full slate of games. You can see this was from Saturday. So I might actually start wagering on this live coming up this Saturday. If you want access to this model or the actual plays that I'll send out, that's $99 per month. And if you just want to be a coaching client, again, you don't get access to this video or the video explaining how to do this, but you also get access to the power rankings, which this model comes from. In addition to the MLB power rankings, that's $49. If you want to join for the year, that offers the most value. That is $499 for the entire year. You save about $600 on the year. So to review this again, is that if you're creating a model, again, always pay attention to if the model, let's say it's only, I mentioned this in another video, let's say it's only hitting 40%. Well, take a look at those losses that are hitting 60%. What do those losses have in common? And you might be able to tweak your model so that you're playing the losses per se and not the wins. And never discard anything that you have. Always test. always continue to build models. The reason my opinion, I'm good at models is I'm always building models, always tweaking. If I see something just like NHL, I saw where overs were cashing, I brought back a model I haven't even looked at in 2 years. It was extremely successful this year. So same deal with this. I was like, hey, what if we did this? Of course, always test it before you wager real money. Get about 50 matches, 50 games under your belt, and you'll have a good indication if that's a solid model or not. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.